As you can see from the title, we've got compound interest, a step-by-step calculation. So let's have a look at the information we've got, and let's just take that out and write that down. We have a principal amount. This is the amount you start with, which is 100,000 baht. You're going to invest that for a time period of 4 years, and the rate of interest will be 2%. Alright. Now, I think it's important here to realize what you're doing here. You're going to add on 2%. Okay. So as a picture, if this was my 100,000 baht, then that would be everything I owned. In other words, this would be 100%. So that little bar there represents 100%. Now, after 1 year, I will have earned 2%. Now, notice it's not to scale, don't worry about that. Okay, and so 2% is going to be added on. So that will give me something added on to my 100,000. Alright. Now, another way of doing that, instead of adding on 2%, notice this could happen, look. Alright. What I'm ending up with is 102% of what I started with. Okay. So this means that instead of doing 2% is 0.02 and then adding it on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply by 102%, which is 102 over 100, which is 1.02. So what happens there is when I multiply it by 1.02, it gives me this answer all together, this thing here, in one go, in one step. Alright. So let's just write something down here. So at the end of the first year, well, I started with 100,000. And then I added on 2%. And this is where this happens now. So I'm going to add on 2%, which is the same as multiplying by that value there, and I'll just do this over here. 100,000 times 1.02. Missed it. Okay, go back 1.02. Just checking that. All right, and that gives me 102,102,000 baht. In other words, I've just earned 2,000 baht. Alright, I've now got 102,000 baht. So at the end of the second year, well, what do I start the first year with? 100,000. What did I end the first year with? 102,000. So now I'm starting my new year with 102,000. So at the end of that, it will have gone up by 2%. Okay, so I'm going to times this value by 1.02. And that's 104,040. In other words, 104,040. So at the end of the third year, notice I'm just doing a step-by-step approach. Right, so what did I start the third year with? I started with 104,040 baht. At the end of the year, I will have increased that value by 2%, which is that multiplier again. And so now I'm going to, on my calculator, I'm going to multiply the answer by 1.02. That'll give me an answer of 106,120.8 baht. Now I'm going to leave that 0.8 in. Right, it is value, it is money. So let's just leave that in there. So by the end of the fourth year, right, well, I'm starting with 106,120.8 baht, and I am going to increase it by 2%. And I'm going to go over to my calculator, and I'm going to multiply the answer at 1.0 E. Okay, try that again. Multiply by 1.02, which is 108,243.216. Okay, which means we have, well, let's have a look. 216 baht, 0.216, that's 21 satang, approximately. Let's have a look how much we've got. We've got 108,243 baht. You could say 22 satang, but let's just leave it like that for now. Okay, done.